Hi, Gemini. It's your turn. I am all ready to do your reading. And for this round of readings, I'm really excited to give you your messages. So, where I feel like we're starting off is your underlying energy that's running underneath the whole reading has to do with something that you're hungering for. There's something that you're trying to achieve, accomplish, something that you would really like to get your hands on or manifest. In essence, this is a manifestation reading now that I think about it. And I also get a sense that you might be a little frustrated because it's taking some time to come in. I want to say that it does look like it's going to come in, but I do want to talk through the process that it looks like you might be taking to get there. Part of the reason why I'm sensing that there is a delay or that it's taking some time is that at some level you are recovering from something. And I'll get more into that later. But there is a sense that I'm picking up from the cards on the table that there has been a need to clear your energy, the energy channel that you would be using to manifest from, to clear that by allowing yourself a season of recovery. And that's kind of the season that you're in right now, whether or not you see yourself as allowing it. So I sense that there is a message that patience is needed here, but that there is a season of abundance on its way. You seem to have this really laser focus on what it is that you're trying to call in. You have a lot of clarity about it, and it's like you can envision it. And maybe you've even been diligently working toward it. And that's where some of the frustration perhaps is coming from. And yet you're being asked to have a little bit of patience and acceptance of the timing and of the season that you're in. That's the energy that's underlying this whole reading to begin with. Your first actual cards on the table are starting off with Two of Pentacles and the Path. So the Two of Pentacles, the way that I see this card in this reading is that you have one foot in the 3D and one in the higher realms. It's like you're a bridge, you're walking in between. And I see this as your work to kind of pull in what it is you're looking for here. It's still here right now, and you're trying to pull it into the 3D and really being quite laser focused on that task. And then here underneath it, the Path. To me, this is just echoing that because you have this person here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a person, there's a ladder, and then there's this portal into what it is I think she's trying to get at. What I want to highlight is that the portal is open, but there is a process for getting there. And right now she's sort of like looking up at it as though like, why can't I get there? Why does that feel out of reach? And it's not that it's out of reach. It's actually open to you. It's available. It's just that there is this process, and this process is going to develop you into the person that you need to be once you do arrive there. So if you were to somehow just be able to transport yourself there, sure, you would get there, but you wouldn't have needed to go through the process that would have developed the traits in you, the abilities in you, the person that you would need to be in order to really enjoy and succeed in that space. So to me, this is what the acceptance is all about right now. And then along with that, I have this star card, Make a Wish. So that's what I mean about like the portal's open, the energy is available to you. Right now, it's all about having patience and allowing yourself a recovery period from what you've been through in the past. Essentially, it's wanting you to clear some of that, to make space, maybe even tangibly, that the way you physically structure your day even, or that what you surround yourself with is too reminiscent of the past. And in order to bring in the new, there's a need to really shed and clear space, both physically and or energetically. And then the cards that came out next speak to me a lot about where it is that you are right now, which is this place of endurance. This is sort of like the wounded warrior. This person has been through a lot, and yet they're still persevering. I think that that is the recovery that we're speaking of. Whatever it is that you've been through in the past, it's difficult to clear the energy of that and make space for the new if you're still fatigued and really worn down by the energy of the past. And the process to clear that energy out can't necessarily be rushed a whole lot. It's just a process of giving yourself some time and doing the work to allow space for whatever healing and whatever clearing needs to happen. Underneath that, to clarify the Nine of Wands, it speaks about endurance. I have resistance and self-reflection. So this is interesting, right? Because what it seems to suggest is that there is some resistance that you've had to reflecting honestly on where you're at this time. It might be that so much laser focus has been on trying to call in what it is you're looking for, what it is you would like to manifest, and not enough time and energy maybe focused on looking inward. When I look at this, I get the sense that she's looking at past versions of herself and that there's something there that needs your time and energy, just like we were speaking to, in order to make space. And yet that there's been resistance to doing that. See, it's like this is the manifestation trying to come in and we're just gripping at it so hard. We don't quite have the right energy to hold it yet. And it's almost implying that in order to hold what it is you're trying to call in, there would need to be a softening. This almost looks like fear. And it's interesting because what came along with these cards is you are safe. So if we're having some resistance to self-reflecting, and this feels like fear, sort of crushing the manifestation, making it hard for it actually to come in, then this reminder that you are safe kind of hints at what the work is all about right now. It's about getting into a vibrational state that is a sense of knowing that you're safe now. Whatever you've been through might have really made you feel as though you weren't safe. The wounded warrior doesn't necessarily feel safe, right? But they're grinding on, they're trying to get somewhere. This is saying, hey, some self-reflection might be needed here in order to recognize that you're blocking a little bit of what you're trying to pull in. And there's no shame in this. I think that we all struggle with that. That sometimes we try to go after something from a place of lack, from a place of fear, as opposed to really working on getting in a state of, I'm safe, I'm okay. It's okay for me to ungrip my hands and receive. And in that energy, flow is possible. And then next to that, what I have is this attraction card, which really seems to speak about what it is that we're talking about. Attraction is manifestation. And when I look at this, what I see, I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but there's a person here and there's a moon that's emerging from what looks like clouds. And the moon hasn't quite all the way risen yet. So the energy that I pick up from this is that your manifestation is coming into being. It's not quite there yet. And that in order to get there, fear is not the answer. It's really reiterating this you are safe message, and that working on cultivating a sense of safety in the body, of surrender, of openness, of expansiveness is what's going to allow union to happen. Two of Cups often will speak about divine union, partnership, and maybe you're trying to pull in a partner. So this could totally be about that, but it can be partnership with any kind of energy. This is just to me in this reading speaking about what it is that you are trying to connect energetically with, your future, your goal, your manifestation. And then next to that, I have take the lead. So what I pick up from this is that once this work is done, once you get to this place of no longer feeling like the wounded warrior and instead able to energetically match with what it is you're trying to bring in, then it's going to be all about taking the action steps. Then your action steps will actually be able to be authoritative and fruitful. And that's where you're going to start to feel like you're finally making some progress toward what it is that you want to bring in. Okay, so next to that, I have the Queen of Wands, who's been coming up in all of the readings lately. She's the queen who knows her value. She does not need anyone's approval. I feel like I've talked about this so many times because she keeps showing up. It feels like this energy is what is really being celebrated right now in this astrological season, an energy of thinking outside of the box, an energy of being your own person, letting your freak flag fly, as they say. That was hard to say with all the F's. And then underneath that, this blossoming. So in taking action, in your divine feminine power from a place that knows your value, knows your worth, and that also feels very regulated and safe enough to feel joy. I mean, she's laughing. She's having a great time. She's not wounded warrior energy at all. This is like a transformation from this to this. That's the process of bringing in the energy that you want to bring in order to get to where you want to get. And that with that, look, now the moon is high. It's no longer low to the ground. It has risen. And she is able to send out her energetic frequency now and have it match with what she's trying to bring in. It's hard to see here, but she's playing a violin. And then there's this beam of light that's shooting out toward what it is that she is attempting to reach with her magic, with her energetic signature. Okay, so along with that, interestingly, I had these two come out together. Narrow your focus, clear your energy, and return to you. So let's talk about the clear your energy first. We already talked about like clearing the energetic channel, and that's a little bit of what this is speaking to for sure. Moving out of a place of fear so that your heart can open, be expansive, and clearing any energetic blocks that were created in a difficult season perhaps that you've walked through in the past, or maybe that you're just coming out of. But this part about returning to you also talks to me about being your own version of yourself. That's what's going to allow you to really send out a clear energetic signal. What came along with that, like I said, is narrow your focus. In a very practical sense, you might need to narrow your focus around what it is you truly want, letting your mind paint a very clear picture about what it is you really want, and maybe even allowing that picture to include nuances like, how is that going to feel? How will you know when you've arrived there? How do you go about your day once you have that? So all of the details allow you to narrow the focus of what it is that you're dreaming about. The more real and detailed the picture in your mind is, the more possible it is to actually pull it in. And what I want to show you is that, remember, part of the underlying energy included this Ace of Swords, where you can tell she's really focused on what it is that she wants to draw in. What struck me about this card is that her beam, her energetic beam, is very laser focused compared to this, which seems to be very broad. It's just kind of like, I want that, whatever that is. I know it's something in the category of X, Y, or Z. And this is like, no, it's X. I know exactly what it is. It's very specific. So narrowing your focus could very well be all about the nuances, the why, the where, the how will it feel, all the details. Okay, so now I want to get you a oracle card and a numerology card and see if we can get any more details about this reading for you. But I feel like it's really beautiful what's come through already. It really almost seems to highlight a step-by-step plan for getting to the place where we can draw in what it is that we want. Okay, so what I got here is willing release. Wow. Okay, so what it looks like is these little dandelion fluffs. Has a little butterfly on it. And willing release obviously is meant to tie in with the visual of blowing on those, and they just kind of go flying, right? So intuitively, what comes to mind for me feels so resonant with what we've been talking about, because there's this need to clear space in order to make room for the new. And the clearing of the space does have to do with releasing some of what's been held on to from the past, whether it be physically, energetically, whatever the case may be. And so this seems to be speaking of that. But let me read it, because I am curious what the book says here. Or at least let me take a look. Sometimes it's a little too long to read. Okay, so it says, there's a divine plan for each of us. When acting on this faith, you may find that your intense desire for something translates into a feeling of attachment and entitlement. Right now, can you immerse yourself in this experience and allow the divine plan to unfold as it will on your behalf without interference? Yes, that's so in alignment with what we're talking about, right? I mean, there's a theme of a need for surrender showing up, because we only surrender when we feel safe. We only are able to release and ungrip our hands and let go when we feel safe enough to do so. And so this really seems to be reiterating that in a really beautiful way, more poetically than I could have said, that's for sure. Okay, I'm going to get you an angel number, and then we'll be wrapping up your reading. Thank you for letting me read for you today. It is such a pleasure, such an honor. Oh. Okay, so you have 555, ride the waves. And the keywords are change, confidence, positive, and powerful. Fasten your seatbelt because you're about to undergo a major change. Perhaps this change is in response to your prayer. So continue to visualize and feel yourself in peace. I mean, you can't make it up. Feel yourself in peace. You are safe. Fear is not the answer. Loosen your grip. Surrender. The messages are so clear in this reading, and it's really amazing and beautiful. I hope that it feels helpful. I so appreciate you. I would love if you feel comfortable leaving me a comment, maybe just letting me know if this resonates with you or maybe how it applies in your life. So thank you, and I will get a new video out soon. Bye.